Everybody, welcome back to another reaction video. This one is Joey Diaz, Scams Restaurant in Boulder, Colorado. This was recommended by a viewer like you down in the comments below, so leave a recommendation and I will react to it. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it. Let's get into it.
He had a Chinese restaurant across the street from Mustard's Last Stand. In Boulder, there's a hot dog place from Chicago Hot Dogs.
That's a great name.
With pickles in that motherfucker.
Brian Sickler?
Mustard's Last Stand.
Fucking great.
And across the street was
that's a good
Chinese
name.
restaurant in those days that I put together for comedy, right?
Okay.
So I put them together for comedy. I had my friends do me a huge favor. I had this kid, Todd Jordan, and this kid, Rick Kearns. I made the bar guy give me $100 tab, and I told him to give me $350 for the comedians. So I gave Todd Jordan 150. I gave the feature 100. I kept 100. So whatever that comes out to be. So I made a little money, but Ron sold $3,000 at the bar. He had never sold that.
Wow.
Listen, I met Ron selling neon. I used to sell neon door to door.
What?
So I come in, give you a flyer with an open sign, and then how much you want for the open? In those days, open signs were just becoming popular. 200, I'll install it for you. 200, I give you
The little
150.
yes, we're open signs.
Yeah, and he goes, 200, I give you 150 in Chinese food, $50 credit. No, fuck that, Ron. I want 200 and 100 in credit, cocksucker.
Fucking Ron.
Okay, you install right.
Ron.
Okay, his name was Ron. You install right now. Do you know how long I milked Ron for? I had Ron paying my rent. I had Ron give me. Ron was a bad motherfucker.
For one sign?
Listen, one sign
Kill
he
him,
paid
yo,
me
PG
200
Duck,
for,
man.
and it cost him 10,000. In those days when I put my hooks in you, it was all over. It cost him 10,000. And then I did the comedy show, and I put money in his pocket. And if you know anything about Chinese people, once they do 3,000 at the bar, they lose their mind. He would call me every day, and I knew I had Ron. I go, Ron, listen, I got it. So I had Ron.
I just noticed the audio levels kind of peaked on that, so maybe when they were recording, they got closer and further away to the mic, so just keep that in mind.
For like a year on the, I had Ron on the, listen to this. I had Ron.
Ron still hasn't recovered.
Ron's been going through his books and like,
Ron would
there's
never
this
know.
whole area right here. It's all in fucking red.
I had Ron.
He would never be your Facebook
I
friend.
would call Ron. Hello, who's there? Ron, this is Joe Diaz. Ron, you gonna be there in 10 minutes? Yeah. What go on? What go on, Joe? Listen, I got a big deal going on. I'll be down in 10 minutes. I'm gonna tell you all about. We're gonna make a ton of money. No, you tell me. And I'd hang up on him. I'd hang up on him. It drove him crazy. By the time I got to the restaurant, he'd be out there. Where you been? Tell me about big deal. And I go, listen. And I just make up a name. Like, listen, you know John Wayne? Yeah, I know John Wayne. Listen, he wants to come. I'm gonna have him come in here and do comedy. But he needs a deposit. Give me $350 right now from the bar. Yeah, $350? Yeah, and I already got the guy waiting on the corner for an 8-ball. Yeah. And I got the chick I'm gonna take to dinner with the other 100, and I got a hotel room for 50. And I'm not even wearing a condom. I'm crazy as fuck at that time.
And no one's going to show up.
Dog, I would take him for $300-400. Finally, after like 6 months, one day he came to me and goes, when is, I don't know who, I was telling Belushi was coming. Like, I was just dropping
my
names.
God.
John Candy's coming. I'm going to get him. I did
His
one.
little Chinese
I
restaurant.
did one. I did one. And I milked that poor Chinese guy. And then I had him on. I was so broke doing comedy. I ate 3 meals a day in there. I would go in there, Ron. Where's my tab?
You went in at like 11 when they opened for breakfast?
11:01. I was in there in the kitchen.
Big shrimp, Ron.
In
Use
the
big
kitchen
shrimp.
making my own soup.
Oh,
That's how
man.
pimp I had it in there. And he
Wow,
told me, don't make
that's
your own
crazy.
soup no more. You take all shrimp. Fuck that shit. I would take the shrimp and the fucking wontons. And that's once I learned how to make Chinese soup. I didn't like it no more. See, I always thought they had the same fucking chicken broth for each thing. All they do is take the chicken broth, put it in, put 3 wontons in. They sprinkle it with pork and fucking onions, and they
Green
bring it to
onion,
you.
yeah.
If it's egg drop, it's egg drop. If it's the other one, they mix it together with the new.
Hot and sour soup, fucking delicious. Love hot and sour soup. I haven't really tried the other ones like the wet egg drop soup or whatever. I just hot and sour every
Booze and
time.
whatever. but it's all the same fucking Chinese mix.
Yeah.
I knew that shit down. I got to be so friendly with Ron that then I took over another Chinese restaurant. This was the best. I used to just take over
Now you gotta
Chinese.
change.
You're like
Oh my
you're like the mob becoming like silent partners.
Listen to me.
You're bleeding them dry.
Oh my God, I was taking over Chinese restaurants.
got a roster.
Listen to me. Now, Ron was in North. Ron was by the college.
What
in
was this
Boulder.
guy's name? Eric?
This was that Ron was by the college, and after 6 months, one day Ron questioned me. He questioned my loyalty and where his $2,000. I give you $3,000. You eat here every day, and then no John Wayne, no John Candy, no Clint Eastwood. I had this poor guy sweating, and then I started bringing him stolen shit.
Eastwood's coming.
And then I would bring him stolen shit. Like if I would go to the mall and steal like 3 big pens, like the gold pens,
Yeah.
I'd bring it. Where you get this? No, listen, it fell off the truck. You know, I knew the mafia. Then I had this other dude, an Italian guy, and I used to tell him I was La Mano Negra, that I was coming to collect on Friday. This guy believed me and went to Tony Ledizio and
My
told
God.
Tony Ledizio if I shook him down again, he was going to call the cops on me. This is Boulder, Colorado. I was going crazy, and I was just out of prison. But I was just.
Is this what you thought of during prison? Like all these little
No. So then, listen to me. So now, there's a Chinese restaurant in North Boulder that was men's and men's. It wasn't that bad, but they were next to the biggest video store in Colorado, which I heard now they're huge. Boulder on 28th Street or 30th Street. Don't fucking by Arapahoe. They used to have a 3-floored movie, a video chain. No porn. Oh, I mean, whatever you want. I went
Like
in
a
there.
3-story Blockbuster?
I used
like
to go in there
that
and fuck with them. Yeah, like a 3-story Blockbuster, way before Blockbuster.
Gotcha.
And I used to go in there and fuck with them. I used to go in there and ask them for Harry in your pocket, just obscure names. And they'd go, and they'd hit. I have it here in 2 days out of Denver. They had a warehouse in Denver that was huge. And that's where I used to go when I first started comedy. So I would go in and I rented every day the Rodney thing and
Dangerfield?
the Rodney Dangerfield
Yeah.
special with all the guys on
Yeah,
it.
young
and
comedians.
And I would also take the best of, what's the black one from HBO?
Def Comedy Jam.
Def Jam
Yeah,
Comedy
yeah,
Jam with
sure.
Joe Torre as the warm-up. And I rented it so much that they wouldn't even charge me anymore. That's how good they were to me as a
Yeah.
comedian. I'll never forget that. But next to that place was a Chinese restaurant. And they were okay. They had some good rice. They had some good, and the kids were good looking. They were nice boys. There was 2 or 3 boys and the mom. And I would go in there by myself. And then I started bringing people in there. And I would have people meet me there. That was the place where me and my buddies were sitting there one day. And I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Me and Rizzo. The kid's name was Rizzo. He's from Long Island. He's a big fat kid. And we're in there fucking eating spare ribs. We're going to go to the Comedy Works. He's driving me to the Comedy Works because I didn't have a car. And on Tuesdays, we would leave work together, and we'd go eat Chinese food, and we'd go. And this couple got up. After we were talking, this couple got up, and on the way out, they said, let me explain something to you. We were listening to your conversations. You two are barbarians. He goes, if I wasn't with my wife, I'd take you both outside and beat your ass. This guy was like an older guy. Anyway.
What were you talking about?
So I started going into this Chinese restaurant, you know, and once or twice a week. The lunch special wasn't bad. And I got to be honest with you, the food wasn't bad. And, you know, hey, Joey, hey, Tony, hey, whatever. I became friends with the guy. One day I went in there. This is a true story.
I know it is.
With no do-re-mi. And I told the guy the truth. I said, listen, man, I forgot my wallet. He goes, dog, you're always in here. You take it with you. I took up the food. And 2 days later, I brought them the $30. They were happy as shit. And after that, I became family. The mom talked to me. The brother talked to me. So I would talk to them more and more. I was lonely. I was going through a heartbreak with my ex-wife. And I would go in there 3 nights a week. You know me, dog. I'm simple. I
Wow.
eat Chinese food every fucking day. They had
Hell yeah.
noodles for the soup. They had the whole thing. One day, I had my daughter. I had the
Sodium
basement.
levels
I
through
lived
the
in a
roof.
rocky basement. I had no money. And I called them up like a man. And I said, listen, man, I'm in a bind. I got my daughter. I got no dough. What do you want? And when they came to my house, the brother sat me down. He goes, listen, you've been coming to our restaurant for a long time. I see you bring people in there. He goes, from now on, you're on a tab. And you pay us when you have the fucking tab. That could only happen to me
yeah.
when I'm a starving comic living in a fucking basement, addicted to blow. I'm a fucking single dad. I got no dough, every penny. And I'm not feeling bad for my, I'm just telling
Wild that he was able to befriend people like this. Like, that's incredible. but he's super charismatic, obviously.
What I was going through, and look at this door that opens up for me. I could eat Chinese food every fucking day. And here's these people telling me, look, from now on,
Open
call us,
tab.
we'll deliver it and we'll put it on a tab.
Hell yeah.
And for a while, I would just give the kid
If I had an open tab to a Chinese place, oh my God. I'd be like 800 pounds.
a 20. He goes, there's no tab. Because he
Take,
was the owner,
16
the
crab
delivery
ragoons?
kid. They fucking worked. There were 2 kids. Well, finally, one day I go, Doug, I'm in there, and they're talking shit. And guess what happens? They're like, our delivery boy quit. Uncle Joey got a license. And I got a map and some glasses. And they're like, you want to deliver Chinese food? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll deliver Chinese food. What nights you got? And they're like, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Give them to me. Fuck it. Dog, I was walking out of there with a yardstick.
And Chinese food.
And Chinese food
And
every
Chinese
night. And I
food.
became friends with them. And then, guess what Uncle Joey started doing? What Tony Soprano didn't want? People selling cocaine on the fucking Chinese routes. So every time I had delivery, I would go out and sell fucking blow at the same time. People would call me up. You got a gram of coke? Yeah, but you got to order Chinese food. Boom, and they'd order Chinese. Come on, God. Who the fuck do you think you guys are dealing with? So I would tell the people.
I mean, what was the
Code word?
No, not that. That's a good question.
They would call and ask for Joey.
I'm just saying,
and I would pick up the phone.
But the increase of business you must have brought
25%.
Oh my God!
And people going in there to see me.
Oh
and to
come
talk,
on!
And I was
yeah,
just
that's what I'm talking.
I was just going to do stand up, and here's where it gets better.
The delivery guy.
The delivery guy.
25%.
Listen to me, dog. And here's where it's getting better. And I'm walking out there with a yardstick a night. I'm selling blow, and I'm weighing it. I'm doing everything there. And in those days, I was such a fiend, I would keep it there overnight. I would hide it there. And they would never use the back bathrooms. So there was nights I'd go in there and put a line of coke out. 2 lines. I'd do one, I'd forget. And I'd walk out. I'd come back 2 days later, that line of coke was still at attention. It was still there with the American flag at attention, Jack. I couldn't believe it. These fucking Chinese dudes didn't snort fucking blood. It was tremendous, but here's where it gets better. So I'm there working, I'm hustling, I'm eating my meals there. I'm living like a doctor in there. I'm bringing my daughter in there. I'm running fucking coke out of there. One day I walk in there, they're like, hey, Joey, we run pool. You want to play pool? And I go, I'll play the fucking pool. And they thought they were cute. They're like, we only have 1 team left, Houston Rocket. And I go, I'll take the fuck with the team. Fuck yeah, I'll take the Rockets. The Rockets were like... The odds were like fucking 12-1 that they would even get to the second round. They won the championship.
Yeah.
When they gave me the 500 cash, you should have seen those motherfuckers. Not only was I running game out of there, after a while, listen, I swear to you guys, I've been with you guys for 3 years. You ready for this one? It got to the point in there that if the phone rang 5 times, 3 of those calls were for Joey. They couldn't believe it. And
Like Coke orders or?
Coke orders?
3 of 5 and 25%.
Every delivery I made, I knew the people.
Yeah.
People knew I was there, and half of them knew
So
I knew
it no longer became random people ordering from this Chinese place. It became you knew
Just
every
customers.
fucking
Me and my
person.
creepy fucking
Yeah.
cocaine
Yeah.
chain. And there was a fucking
Exactly.
trailer park where the guy, what did I tell you his name was? Alex. Remember I told you I was in the halfway? He called me
Right.
for the show early on, the very beginning.
Mexican dude.
Mexican dude. Years later, Alex lived in that trailer park behind there. And in the back of that trailer park in Boulder, it was like fucking La Bamba. It was like 20 illegal Mexicans back there. Doug, that's where I was picking up coke. Listen, if cocaine was in those days...
Wait, that's where you went to get it?
Listen to me. It was a trailer park with white people living in the front. And then as you got to the back of the trailer park, like it was one house white, one house Mexican. But as you got to the back of it, this is 1980, this is 1994. As you got to the back of the trailer park, it got dark, but they were illegals. And they were the ones that mowed lawns and shit, but the half of them were there selling fucking powder. And I mean, right off the fucking brick. I don't know if they were cartels. Then I mean, pop, and the thing would come out in the air like it would float.
Are you serious?
And they wouldn't even use a scale. They wouldn't even use a scale, these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
became such friends with me talking Spanish, that I would go there and I'd pay them for 2 ounces, and I'd take it home. It was 3.5 ounces, because they just break it, pop, and they just put chunks all the way, and I'd take it. They were brown. They were brown Mexicans, dark, like they walked here, like they were out of the fucking sun. And I forget what their name was. You know me, dog. You know me, dog. I never fucking asked. I never fucking asked how they got here, if they used suntan lotion, what brand it was. I never asked them.
gave
dick.
a fuck about SPF.
Dog, I didn't
my
ask these
God.
motherfuckers nothing. All I knew is they had some fucking coke that was tremendous. I was making money. I was working
Tremendous.
on this Chinese restaurant. And you know what, man? That was one of the... I knew I had no future there. I knew they were going to figure it out. And I remember going in there and going, I'm going to go on the road as a comedian. And they were all very nice to me. They were Vietnamese. They weren't Chinese. But they cooked Chinese. And they were so nice to me that I was like, fuck the war. I'm going to forgive you. What am I going to do? I'm going to hold a grudge against you?
You held a personal grudge.
Well, I don't know. I'm a little kid from Cuba. I come here and the country's at war with somebody. I want to be an American. So psychological, I'm supposed to fucking hate you if I want to be this gung-ho fucking white kid. That's in the back of my mind. I wouldn't even talk to Vietnamese people. We're at fucking war with you. It took years. It took years to unwind my stupidness and my...
You got mad that I got Korean dumplings.
Oh, please. You know, we just went to war with...
He called me and he said the Chinese were here first. They got dibs.
They got dibs. You gotta go ask them respect. They got dibs of Chinese. They've been here since the fucking railroads. Yo, the Koreans been throwing sidekicks for 30 years. Teaching Taekwondo. The fucking,
Oh, my God.
The Asian Chinese people were here with the fucking railroads and shit.
That was entertaining. Joey has an unbelievable eye for criminal enterprises, like petty crimes, like scamming a restaurant and whatnot. It's just really amazing how he didn't get in more trouble. Like, obviously, the kidnapping thing is certainly something he got in trouble for, but I mean, that's wild. I can't even imagine having a tab at a Chinese restaurant. Like, oh my God. It would be like an everyday meal for sure. All right. Thanks for watching. Leave a recommendation down below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.